of pride for Odisha, becoming the first smart city, chosen as the first smart city so it's a really a moment of pride, and it's wonderful to be a part of this gathering. So what Sophos as an organization, what we could contribute in a smart city is what I wanted to speak about. So there is just wanted to show some figures which shows what the total cost of breaches have been over the past 4 years. So if you go back to 2012, so it was around 5 odd crores per organization, which has risen to around 9 crores last year. So at what rate do we think that these cybercrime are increasing? It's indeed a problem which needs to be sorted out because the cyber criminals are becoming more and more intelligent, which has given us a lot of thought process to think about the crimes which have been committed and how we can mitigate these risks with our products and whatever in our gamut of products. So if you see, the crime has been increasing of around, it's almost doubling every year if you see for the last 5 years. And with this, the whole surface threat has also widened. Now, if you see the mobile devices, they've been increasing at a rate of 4.7% year on year. And if you see the IoT market, Internet of Things, which will be a very key thing when we go forward with the smart cities, because now we have only our mobile devices, PCs, servers, routers, switches, which have an IP. But going forward, Internet of Things would actually give each and every device, whether it is a television, whether it's a refrigerator, whether it's a lamp, light, or maybe if you go to a field, if you have to measure a humidity of with an instrument, that would have also an IP. And with that, you could all monitor it with a single console sitting at your home. So that's what I'm talking about, Internet of Things, which would be the way forward, thinking about the smart cities in the next 5 years to come. And operating system will also go more and more wide. You have your Blackberries, you have your iOS, you have your Windows, Firefox OS. So all these are also, going wider. And of course, with this, the growth of internet usage will also be, huge. From 51.2 billion to it's going down to 131.6 billion IP addresses. So if you see the businesses, all across, more than 51% of data breaches happens in less than 10,000 kind of a network. So that's why small and medium business is so much vulnerable, and that's where we have to play and protect. And if you see the security incidents which has happened over the years, whether it's a BSNL attack or it's the IRCTC attack, they all have been hit by various cyber attacks, over the years. So we at Sophos actually, brings entire, end-to-end security. Whether you talk about the next generation firewall, whether you talk about the UTM, secure wireless, or on the end user protection, the antivirus, we talk about safe encryption, or the virtual security. We have all the products in our range which actually gives you, a complete security offering, whether it comes to a smart city kind of a solution. So if you see, we have the UTMs in physical format as well, and we have it in the virtual format as well. So if you talk about the end user protection, we talk about the antivirus, we talk about the safeguard encryption. Suppose your laptop gets stolen and your hard disk is not encrypted. So obviously, if your competition steals your laptop and you don't have proper encryption, all your data will go to the competition and he can rip you apart. So that's where we play. Email protection is another important focus of ours. And if we talk about anti-spam, we talk about IMAP filtering, or whether encrypting your email into a PDF format. So we have all the features within our email protection. Mobile device management has also become very, very crucial nowadays. We have smartphones which which are with everybody. Everybody owns a smartphone nowadays, and in the corporates and in the government sector, these workforce are given to all the key officials, and you have to have a control on them as well. So we have an agent which can be installed on the smartphones, and these smartphones can be monitored from a single console from a server. So whether if you want to block an application, whether you don't want the Skype or Facebook to run on a smartphone, we could do that as well. So talking about safeguard encryption, you have your hard disk which needs to be encrypted. I've already spoken about it. We can also encrypt your USB drives, your dongles. So all can be taken care with the help of safeguard encryption. We have come up with a new Sophos operating system platform where we have better protection. It's simpler to manage, and you can dig down, drill, and you can have all kind of reportings which we have in form of templates, which are very easy to understand, and obviously the help guide which gives you the jargons to understand the whole graphical user interface is also very intruding and easy to understand. Another unique thing which we have come up is the Sophos security heartbeat. You have your endpoint protection, which is on the end user level, and you have the next generation firewall or the UTM, which is on the perimeter security. So now we can actually sync these two components together with the help of heartbeat. So the moment something goes wrong on one side, the other side will be informed. It's like we have a big premises, you have a gate, and you have a security guard at the gate, and then you have a security guard which is inside the premises, and both are actually talking to each other with the help of a walkie-talkie. So that's what, in simple layman terms, what a security heartbeat would mean. So both this next-gen cloud as well as the next-generation firewall, they both would interact and mitigate all the risks which are happening on both the sides. So another feature which will be really new in the market, and people would talk about in the coming times. We are also now Wi-Fi enabled, so you could actually people who would have Sophos CyberOps appliances, they could use that appliance as a management console, and they could just use the access points, and which would be centrally managed from the next generation firewall or the UTM which is there. Snapshot, Sophos was started in 1985 out of Oxford, UK. If the present, we talk the present billing, it's a $500 million company across globe. We are 2,200 employees, and some of our OEM partners are Cisco, IBM, Juniper. And if you talk about India, we are based out of Ahmedabad, close to around 800 employees. We have a channel base of over 1,000 channel partners with 20,000 customers across India. And we are the only support center which is 20,000 certified, ISO 20,000 certified, after Genpact. So only two support centers, and we are one of them. If you talk about the Gartner quadrant, you talk about endpoint security, you talk about UTM, or you talk about mobile device, mobile data protection. We are in the leaders quadrant of all the three. So it's a unique point, which not many players are. Then we have the complete gamut of products, and we've been the leaders in the market for the last 3 years in all the three verticals. Some of our clientage, we have in the education, which is really close to our heart. We have NIT Rourkela, which is Resauli, some of others, AIMS, Delhi. And then if you talk about corporate, we have Indigo, Zoom, etc. And then talking about government, whether it's Axis Bank, India Bank, so a lot of banking sector is also our focus, and talk about pure government, NTPC, Power Grid, Indian Oil, etc. I'll just like to play a video before I leave.